Got my eyes straight ahead, got my head in the game. With the red light on, I'm just waiting for the change. Keep my head down low.
So I've been talking quite a bit about leadership, especially within police and the police around Australia, and how basically leadership teams don't listen to the hierarchy. We're having a lot of problems, obviously, in recruiting, not just here in Queensland, but Australia-wide. Let's just check out this video from Victoria, talking about Victorian police and how they are struggling, and yet the police chief commissioner just doesn't seem to, well, he doesn't agree with statistics. I'm not sure if he sees the irony in what he's saying, or is it just arrogance, but let's check it out together anyway.
A show of respect to fallen comrades. Hundreds of current and former officers set off on their annual ride to Canberra.
It really does, it does mean a lot to the police family.
While these officers took some time to remember those who've made the ultimate sacrifice, a new study has found the day-to-day sacrifices of serving are pushing police beyond their limits. University researchers studying the well-being of frontline workers surveyed more than 1,000 Victorian police officers. 67% of them said they're at the point of burnout. 58% frequently think about quitting. And a figure which researchers say is most concerning, 21% claiming they're likely to leave within a year.
If you're looking at over 10% turnover, intentional leave, that's critical. But we have a 21% here. These turnover figures are the worst of the groups that we've done.
Officers told the researchers they're working like dogs, with stress at an all-time high, fed up with senior management, who they say are unlikely to listen.
Well, I don't agree with the outcomes of the survey, I'm sorry.
The irony, all these people saying they're fed up with the hierarchy that don't seem to listen to what they're saying. And then the police chief commissioner says, I don't agree with the outcomes of the survey. It's not just a problem within Victoria. This is a problem Australia-wide. This is a problem with leadership at the moment globally. When we see the same thing happening here in Queensland. Our commissioner here and the police minister, they are both doing an absolutely terrible job, making poor decisions consistently. They're very consistent in making bad decisions, and yet they're allowed to continue on. People don't agree. The people doing the actual work don't agree, don't think they'll listen, and they continue on anyway. It seems to be an arrogance problem within our leadership groups, in police groups across Australia.
The state's top brass argue every police jurisdiction in the country is struggling to fill vacancies post-COVID. Victoria is recruiting and training far more officers than it's losing.
We had last month the largest number of applications we've ever seen.
Bringing more people in, churning them through, and then losing more, it's not really the solution, we would argue.
The answer isn't more police necessarily. The answer is better practice.
The union.
Yeah, it's not more police necessarily, it's better practice, because if all you're doing is losing all of your experienced officers, if that's all you're doing, you're going to end up with big problems. If all you've done is ended up with a police force full of young officers with no experience, who do nothing but take orders without questioning what's going on, without looking at the legality of things, or the legality of the orders that they're listening to, you're going to end up with problems. That's when you end up with heavy-handed police tactics. I also believe that a lot of the police, they're having a lot of issues with police leaving, because police, not only with the burnout, but police have looked back. I think police have just reflected back on what's happened over the last couple of years, and think that maybe what we've done has not been the right thing. Maybe we should change jobs. They're not completely happy with the way police jurisdictions, the path that they've taken. So police have decided to go. I know that Queensland Police, last Friday, they had 16 resignations. That was just for 1 week. 16 resignations. If you have an intake, which is roughly 40, an intake unit, which is roughly 40 people going through I think it's like a 5-month course or something now for the training, for recruit training. 5, maybe 6. I think they've cut it to 5. If you have an intake of 40, but every week you're losing, let's say roughly 10 a week, because last week it was 16, the week before I think it was 5, other weeks it's been 12, up to even more. So if you're losing on average 10 a week, 40 a month, but you're only putting through 40 for every intake, which go through every couple of months here in Queensland, your outlook is very poor. But this is the problem, okay? All the people on the ground who are filling in these surveys, who are telling them this is the problem, our leadership don't listen, and then the leadership turn around and say, we just don't agree with the survey. The leadership need to go. But when you look at all these people in the higher positions, all these officers, you got to remember, realistically, they're politicians. That's all they are, is just a politician, just working to save their own butt. And Victoria, yep, you're recruiting more police. All you're going to do is end up with a lot more young officers who don't question the orders that they're given, and you're going to end up with some very heavy-handed policing going on, as we've seen nationwide, more heavy-handed than we've seen in the past from Victoria. So just more problems nationwide with our police. But hey, I don't think the hierarchy is about to listen anytime soon. Unfortunately, we need to vote differently. Make these people more accountable. If we make our politicians more accountable, well, then they will make the police hierarchy more accountable. That's my opinion. Let me know what you think. Thank you for listening to The Slippery Slope.
They just fuel the desire that will take me higher. I'm on fire because nothing's gonna